So, good day, ma'am. By the way, I am Jane Marie P. Budlaw from BC3B. And this is my topic, parent partnership and honoring diversity. Also, parenting style. So, parent partnership is well established in the research literature as a key factor in effective early childhood programs, but without a clear definition for parent partnership, there can be enormous variation in the way they concept and interpreted and practice. Family involvement can range from receiving information and keeping informed to participation in session and events to a partnership where family work alongside teachers to determine and implement decisions in early childhood services. And also, parent partnership involves early childhood practitioner developing responsive and reciprocal relationships in which power is shared. Genuine partnership occurs when teachers and family collaborate in making curriculum decisions about children's learning. In such partnership, the different strength, expertise, and culture of individuals are valued and relationships are characterized by mutual respect. So, honoring diversity. What does honoring diversity means? Means celebrating diversity help children recognize and reject bias against race, language, culture, gender, abilities, and so on. So how we help children see the richness in their diversity? First is help children understand how they are different and alike. So in skin color, body size, shape, hairstyle or texture, home, language, clothing, foods, and holiday, and so on. So, gari is, ato gid ipasabot sa mga bata nga kanang, dili lang gid bitaw kanang, I mean, laylahi, namagid laylahi nga kanang katangian ang mga tao bitaw. So, kanang, para dili bitaw maingon nga kanang, na inani siya, inani ang, murag dili nila i-compare lahang self bitaw. So, ato silang i-guide kung ang nang atoy pasabot sa ilaha nga kanang ang mga tao gid is nagid kanang kalain-lainan. So kanang ilang kanang ang atong kalainan sa ilaha is kanang muna siyang reason nga nung unique ta. And then prompt children to express their thoughts and ideas about differences through planned conversation using picture, question, or book. So dari ato na lang sa daring way is ato sila kanang ato ipa-open nila mind bitaw about sa mga differences, which is kanang pwede na to sila ipabasa sa mga books or ipakita na to mga picture bitaw. So that's why kanang ma-open nilang mind nga nagid kalain-lainan kanang ang mga tao is nagid differences, and then kanang ato ipa-express na to ilahang mga thoughts or ideas, but kanang ato sila i-guide in respectful way. And then give children the appropriate language to talk about differences in respectful way. When the children make hurtful or sensitive comments about others, model language that acknowledge the differences in an open and honest way while deflecting negative connotation. So dari is example dani is kanang nalower emo sa sulod sa classroom is naa lugar isa ka student nga which is anang singkaw lugar sa example. So kanang na dilim gyud ato malikayan nga sa kanang sa isa ka classroom is nagid mga bata nga kanang murag out of curiosity bitaw kay mag-ingon na din sila nga simple kanang simple lang si for example si Rachel is kanang singkaw inana. So kanang di sa ato is ato silang i-guide kay murag or may lugar nga word lugar yang arm. So kanang ato i-guide nga dili dapat word ang gamiton bitaw kay kanang kung sa kon magad is maka-hurt magad sa feeling sa bata. So ato na lang iingon sa bata is kanang difference iyang arms but kanang dili word inana bitaw. And then respond to express or of dislike or bias immediately with positive kind and explanatory language. So dari dili kini malikayan ang mga bias bitaw, labi na pag sa isa ka classroom, labi na kung ang estudyante is dili ganahan sa iyang isa ka ay kapwa student bitaw, like anang mag-ingon siya nga huy kutuhon anang huy siponon manginana bitaw. So ato ginay kanang i-respond gyud nato na siya immediately kay kung kana magud mapasagdan is maabot man sa discrimination bitaw inana. So but in a positive way, dapat dili na to sila i-confront bitaw sa kadaghanan, kay kung i-confront mga na sila sa kadaghanan, kay kanang murag dili na nila kanang makuha nila hang sayop bitaw, kay ilas para sa feeling nila to kay kanang naulawan na sila na, so mas better nga i-confront nila nimo siya sa kanang personal bitaw, so that's why kanang makuha gyud nila nga okay sayop gito nila, sayop to ilang gibuhat inana bitaw. And then why it is important for you to take note of and talk openly about diversity. Children are concrete thinkers. They recognize when a pair looks different, speak another language, or indifferent abled. And then, by talking about differences openly, educator can teach children how to acknowledge and celebrate them. A frank discussion of differences, when carefully planned and skillfully taught, can help children see the diversity as valued as important. So, muna siya nga mga importante nga nung kanang why we need to take note about sa mga diversity. And then, how can you model appropriate responses to issues of human differences? Use language that acknowledge the child observation. And then choose words that help children see differences as normal human characteristics, so that they learn how to treat those differences with respect. And then, what is the long-term benefits of teaching about diversity? Children learn to see and appreciate the similarity and diversity of human in this world. Children will grow to be more accepting of their own and other differences. And then celebrating diversity helps children recognize and reject bias against race, language, culture, gender, abilities, and so on. And then parenting style. Wait lang. Parenting style has a vast impact in child life development. Most families have combination of two or more of the parenting style because of their mother and father tend to differ when it comes to parenting a child. So dari ang parenting style is nakadepende gina sa mga ginikanan kung unsaon nila paghandle bitaw is ang mga ginikanan magod labi na ang mother or father kanya gina sila laylay nga way kung unsaon nila pagpadako ang mga bata. And then ang first parenting style is authoritative parenting. Authoritative parents invest time and energy into preventing behavior problem before they start. They also use positive discipline strategies to reinforce positive behavior. So there is ang dari is kana murag ginakuan bitaw nila kanang ginapaminawan nila ang side sa bata bitaw kanang before sila mag-act kanang gina-involve nila ang mga bata bitaw, dili ingon nga ginikanan sila ra gyud dapat ang magbuot, magbuot. Ang kanidari is kanang parity gyapon nila ang feeling sa bata. And then ang mga characteristics sa mga kanang parenting nasa authoritative parenting is high demand, high responsive. Authoritative parents have high expectations for achievement and maturity, but they also warm and responsive. This type of parents set rules and enforce boundaries by having open discussion, providing guidance, and using reasoning. These parents provide their kids with reasoning and explanation of their action, allow children to have sense of awareness, and teach kids values, morals, and goals. Authoritative parents are affectionate, supportive. They respect their children's autonomy, provide them with a lot of freedom, and encourage independence. And then, children of authoritative parents tends to appear happy and content performance, are more independent, are more active, achieve higher academic, develop good self-esteem. So dani makita gid mo kung kanang unsa ka kuan ang bata bitaw if sa authoritative gid siya kanang nagdako nga parents bitaw. And then authoritarian parenting. Authoritarian parents may use punishment instead of discipline. So rather than teach a child how to make better choices, they invested in making kids feel sorry their mistake. Children who grow up with strict authoritarian parents tends to follow rule much of the time. Much of the time. So dani kanang murag ang kani siya mo na siyang opposite sa authoritative, which is ang authoritarian magod is kanang ang parents ra gid ang pwede gid mag-set sa rules bitaw kanang murag ginabaliwala na nila ang feelings or mga opinions sa mga bata nila basta kay ang ilaha gid ang decision. So ang characteristic na ni is sa mga parents dari is high demandness, low responsiveness, high level of parental control and low levels of parental responsiveness are the two characteristics of the authoritarian style. And then, an authoritarian parents is disciplinary figure. They view themselves as the authoritarian figures. And then, children whose parents have an authoritarian parenting style can have an unhappy disposition and be less independent, appears insecure, possess low self-esteem, exhibit more behavioral problem and conduct issues, perform worse academically, more temper tantrum. So dani ka na makita gini mga grabing struggle sa bata if kanang abi na akong nagdako gid sa mga inana nga mga kanang ginikanan. And then permissive parenting. Permissive parents usually take on more of a friend's role than a parent's rule. They often encourage their children to take with them about their problems, but they usually don't put much effort in the discourage poor decision or bad behavior. So dani ka na murag take daw ay kanang ginatanaw nila ang bata is bata. Kana bitang murag ginapasagdan nila nga kung say kanang decision sa bata, go with the flow na lang pud sila. Manginana bitaw na murag kung saan pa spoiled ang bata bitaw. So, ang characteristic sa parents about sa parenting, permissive parenting is low demandness, high responsiveness. Permissive parents, also known as passive parents, set very low parents' rules and boundaries, and they are reluctant to enforce rules. These indulgent parents are warm and indulgent, but they do not like to say no or disappoint their children. And then children of permissive parents tends to have the worst outcomes. So kanang ang permissive parents mo gina pinaka-worst daw nga kanang outcomes bitaw sa mga bata, labi na pagid kung nagig ka mo dako dana. And then ang kuan ni ang mga bata ang possible nga pagdako sa bata is kanang cannot follow clear rules, have worse self-control, possess egocentric tendencies, encounter more problems relationship and social interaction. So maglisod gyud sila about sa mga kana nga mga categories. And then neglectful parenting. Uninvolved parents expected children to raise themselves. They don't devote much time or energy into meeting children's basic needs. So dani kani murag gini siya muning pinaka-worst sa tanan parenting style kay murag kanang ginabaliwala na gid nila bitaw kanang di na nila ginaatiman nila mga bata, ginapasagdan anang murag kung sobra nila ka busy bitaw murag wala na sila kanang time nga kanang mag hibawon nila lang mga bata kanang kanang atimanon kanang kuno nila ang feeling sa mga bata kung gilantan ba or wala mga na bitaw. So ang characteristic din sa mga sa parents about sa neglectful is low demandingness and then low responsiveness. Neglectful parents do not set firm boundaries or high standard. They are indifferent to their children's needs and are uninvolved in their lives. These uninvolved parents may have mental issues themselves such as depression, physical abuse, or child neglect when they were kids. So dani kanang ang sagara sa neglectful parents is kanamura na pud sila kanang gipang daanan bitaw labi na pang like depression, physical abuse or kanang isa pud siya sa kanang na neglect pud siya sa una niya nga kuan sa bata pa siya. And then children of neglectful parents they are more impulsive, cannot self-regulate emotion, encounter more delinquent behavior and lesion, have more mental issues. So dani ka na murag muna siya ang resulta if ang bata naa sa neglectful parents. And that's all. Thank you.
Good day to you, ma'am. I'm Christina Golay from BCGB, and my topic is about collaborative relationship and parenting uh, communicate parents. So when we say a collaborative relationship are built in an environment of mutual respect, trust, and honesty established through effective communication and strengthening each other to feel capable and empowered. So collaborative relationship though is mutual respect, trust, and honesty because it is established through effective communications and strengthening each other and to be able to feel capable and empowered. So, in genuine partnership, families, and early childhood and communities, the first one is value each other's knowledge of each child. So, as an educator, we really have to value those knowledge of the child have, and then value each other's contribution to and roles in each child. So as a teachers, we really have to value the parents who are the one who can contribute to the roles of each to the roles of their child, and then trust each other. So of course, when we say collaboration relationship or collaborative relationship, there must be trust to each other because what's the use of collaborations if there's no trust with each other? So it is really important that in collaborative relationship must have a trust and then communicate freely and respectfully with each other. So as an educator, we really need to communicate to the parents in an open and freely communications, and also when we communicate to them we have to be respectful and respectful with each other, so share insights and spread and perspective about each child. So as an educator and as a teachers, kanang both of you are going to share your insights and perspective, points of view, thoughts and ideas on kanang about sa what you can do to the child, and the last one is engage in this shared decision making. So of course, as an educators, we really need to engage children in our shared decision making, like for example is kanang ato silang ginaas na to ang mga bata where what books they really like to read and what dresses uh, kanang ilang gusto suoton as long as it is appropriate. So, and high expectations and equity. The learning frameworks note that the educators who are committed to equity believe in all children's capacities to succeed regardless of diverse circumstances and abilities. Collaborative relationship and the use of critical reflections allow educators to implement programs that provide equal opportunities for all children to achieve learning outcomes. So high expectations and equity. It is noted that the educators are believe that all children must be able to succeed, or or each each children capacities are able to be to be succeed regardless of diverse circumstances and abilities. And then respect for diversity. To support individual children, educators need to learn about each child's background and respect and families' histories, culture, language, traditions, child rearing practices, and lifestyle choices. So when we say respect for diversity, it is it is un, it is not that we have to respect our differences, and to support individual children, we educators need to learn about each child background. So as a teacher, we really need to kanang ato jud kanang tun-an kung unsay atong or dapat natong hibalon unsay background ani nga bata for us to know on how are we going to to give our kanang kung unsa na to sila bitaw tudloan bitaw in a way nga makasabot sila. And then ongoing learning and reflective practices. The development of genuine, respectful partnership requires educators to seek information or strategies from families or professionals to enhance their pedagogy and curriculum. So when we say ongoing learning and reflective practices, it is development of genuine, respectful partnership that requires educator to seek the informations or strategy coming from the families of the children or those kanang professionals for us to enhance our way of learning, our pedagogy and even our curriculum on how we are going to implement our curriculum to be enabled for the children to learn. So communicate parents. Effective communications establish a strong relationship of trust, respect, and transparency between parents, students, teachers. That is why in every interaction, the goal must be to strengthen this relationship for the development and well-being of the children. So, communicate parents is somewhat similar to the collaborative relationship because it is effective because it established effective communication or strong relationship through trust, respect, and transparency between parents and student and teachers. That is why in every interaction, the goal must be to strengthen the relationship or the development of the child or the well-being of children. So parents and teachers share a common interest doing the best for the child. To achieve this, teacher can adopt certain practices that will lay a strong foundation. So these are be, the first is be respectful and warm. Always be respectful to the parents. It can help you understand their expectations, needs, and concern. In a practical way, respectful communications means providing parents with information they want in simple term or seeking the help or interpreter if they ask different language. So when we all know that there are kanang families nga na different ilahang language. So as a teachers, we really to provide kanang parents with the information kanang kung sa ilahang mga concern about sa child, dapat ato silang tagaan i-provide nato sila sa ilahang gusto nga mga concern para and then and then and as I've said the other parents nga different ilahang way of kanang language I mean so kanang we teachers mangita jud tag interpreter bitaw for us to understand what they are saying and to be able to really understand and to be able to really understand and kanang magkasinabtanay ang parents and teachers. So using pronouns such as we and us with the help of with the children and the help of the parents. And then so and then be a good listener. Listening is another critical element of communications. By listening to the parents and carers, you get invaluable information regarding the child's educational experiences with their families, along with the opinions of the progress made by the child. So in communicating parents, kanang we also, as an educator, we really should be, we have to be a good listener. Not just the parents, kanang dili lang kay ang parents ang mamati sa tua but also back and forth communication like kita mamati ta sila pod mamati sa tua. So because by listening to the parents and carers kanang you have kanang makagit bitaw kag mga invaluable informations, mga insight about regarding the child's educational experiences or even their families along with the kanang opinions on the progress made by the child kung unsay kanang nahimo bitaw sa child bitaw na progress nila during school. And the third one is to adhere to a problem-solving approach. It's common for parents to raise concern about their children, especially when they are worried or uncertain in such a scenario. Adhere to a problem-solving approach so you and the parents can work together to address the particular concern. So it is kanang adhere to a problem-solving approach. It is common for parents to kanang raise concern bitaw about sa ilahang bata kanang ma-worried sila bitaw and then kanang they are not kanang sure kung unsay panghitabo sa bata inside the school. And so So you and the parents can work together to address the particular concern. So to do this, you can follow a systematic method. So first is identifying the exact problem or the reasons of concern. So first and foremost, we have to identify what is the problem, what causes the problem, and then what kanang nganong ang parents is nag-raise of concern. And then the next one is after identifying the problem, we have to consider what we give, or what the best kanang possible solution nga atuhang kuan ana to address the problem. And then after kanang considering the possible solution, so we must kanang self reflect bitaw sa ato ang self as an educator to why is it why kanang problem ay solution nga ato ang gikuan, or even kanang effective ba na siya nga kanang solution nga atong gina-implement, or and then after that we kanang and after that reviewing the differences the solution we made. So dapat i-review nato nga unsay kalainan nga why the parents are raising their concerns, and why og ngano kato nga concerns is ato tong natagaan og solution, og effective ba siya. And then stay positive about working together. So teachers, parents together are a great team. So always work on building cooperative effort. This involves not making prior assumption, communicating often, and discussing the challenges without judging. So stay positive about working together. So as a teachers and parents together, it is a great team, because kanang teachers and parents are work on building cooperative effort. So this involves kanang mga prior assumption nato ato mga point of view bitaw, and then dapat pod mag-communicate ta often kana bitang through what are kana unsa atong ma-share nga knowledge or insight sa imong bata, kung unsa na siya, what kanang characteristic nga na-build or na-develop ana nga sa imong bata during kanang inside the school. And then after that we also discuss the kanang when we are going to discuss, dapat there's no kanang judging bitaw, nga walay kanang judgment nga mahitabo. Discuss, no judgment. And then appreciate the emotional involvement of parents. So as an educator, we really need to appreciate the emotional involvement of our parents, because they are kanang taking time bitaw to kanang mag-adto sa school to kanang as an educator, mag-meeting, through meeting, di ba, nana sila kanang magahin na sila og oras para sa ilahang bata. And then dapat pod kita always ginanato sila gina-appreciate, no, when it comes to their kanang involvement, kanang mag-raise sila og kuan kanang ma'am, kanang unsay kanang progress sa akong bata, or kanang even bitaw nga mga question nga as long as related siya sa children. So mao na siya dapat always appreciate the emotional involvement of parents. So that's all, and thank you. I-click na.
Good morning everyone. My topic for today is all about analyzing problem behavior in a child. First is events in the child's life. When analyzing problem behavior in a child, events in the child's life can provide important context for understanding the behavior. So here are some factors to consider. First, life change. Significant life change such as a move to a new home, a change in schools, or the birth of a sibling can be stressful for children and may impact their behaviors. Second is trauma. Exposure to traumatic events such as abuse, neglect, or violence can have a significant impact on a child's behavior. Trauma may lead to anxiety, depression, aggression, or other problematic behaviors. Third, academic struggles. Children who struggle academically may become frustrated, anxious, or disengaged, which can lead to problematic behaviors. Fourth, peer relationships. Peer relationships can impact a child's behavior, both positively and negatively. Children who have positive relationships with peers may have better social skills and self-esteem, while those who are failed or excluded may experience negative outcomes. Fifth, screen time. Excessive screen time can impact a child's behavior, leading to problems such as decreased attention, difficulty sleeping, and behavioral issues. Six is family dynamics. Family dynamics such as parental conflict, divorce, or separation can impact a child's behaviors. Children who experience high levels of conflict or instability may be more likely to exhibit problematic behaviors. Seven is medical conditions. Some medical conditions such as ADHD, autism, or anxiety disorders can impact a child's behavior. Identifying and treating these conditions can help improve behavior. It is cultural and societal factors. Cultural and societal factors can influence a child's behavior. For example, cultural belief about appropriate behavior, gender roles, and parenting styles can impact a child's behavior. 9. Environmental factors. Environmental factors such as exposure to toxins, noise, pollution, or poor air quality can impact a child's behavior. Children who live in environments with high levels of stress or pollution may be more likely to exhibit problematic behaviors. 10. Parenting style. Parenting styles can impact a child's behavior. Authoritative parenting, which involves setting clear rules and boundaries while also being warm and responsive, is associated with better outcomes, while authoritarian or permissive parenting style may lead to problematic behaviors. 11. Emotional regulation. Children who struggle with emotional regulation may be more likely to exhibit problematic behaviors. Emotional regulation involves the ability to manage and express emotions appropriately. 12 is social skills. Children who struggle with social skills may be more likely to exhibit problematic behaviors. Social skills involve the ability to interact with others effectively in negative social situation. 13 is substance use. Exposure to drugs or alcohol can impact a child's behavior. Both in the short and long term, children who are exposed to substance use may be more likely to exhibit problematic behaviors. So, by considering these additional factors, parents, caregivers, and professionals can develop a more comprehensive understanding of the child's behavior and develop effective strategies to support the child. Second is triggers. When analyzing problem behavior in a child, trigger can provide important insight into why the behavior is occurring. Here are some factors to consider when analyzing problem behavior in a relation to triggers. First is antecedents. Antecedents are events or circumstances that occur immediately before the problem behavior. Identifying antecedents can help determine what triggers the behavior. For example, a child may engage in problem behavior when asked to do a specific task or when they are hungry or tired. Second is consequences. Consequences are the events or circumstances that follow the problem behavior. Identifying consequences can help determine the function of the behavior. For example, a child may engage in a problem behavior to gain attention or to avoid a task. Third is emotional state. The child's emotional state can impact their behavior. Children who are experiencing strong emotions, such as anger, frustration, or anxiety, may be more likely to engage in a problematic behaviors. Fourth is sensory input. Sensory input such as noise, light, or touch can impact a child's behavior. Children who are sensitive to certain sensory stimuli may be more likely engaged in problematic behaviors. Fifth is social interaction. Social interactions can impact a child's behavior. Children who struggle with social skills or who have difficulty with peer relationships may be more likely to engage in problematic behaviors. Six is environmental factors. Environmental factors such as changes in routine or exposure to stressful events can impact a child's behavior. Identifying environmental factors can help determine what triggers the behavior. 7 is health and well-being. A child's health and well-being can impact their behavior. Children who are in pain, ill, or who have unmet needs may be more likely to engage in problematic behavior. 8 is learning history. A child's past experiences can impact their behavior. Children who have learned that engaging in a certain behavior results in a desired outcome may be more likely to engage in that behavior in the future. 9 is reinforcement. Reinforcement refers to the events or circumstances that follow the problematic behavior and serve to increase the likelihood that the behavior will occur again in the future. Identifying reinforcement can help determine the function of the behavior. 10 is expectations. A child's expectations can impact their behavior. Children who have been taught or conditioned to expect certain events or outcomes may be more likely to engage in problematic behaviors when those expectations are not met. 11 is cognitive factors. Cognitive factors such as problem solving, skills, or impulse control can impact a child's behavior. Children who struggle with these skills may be more likely to engage in problematic behaviors. 12 is developmental factors. Developmental factors such as age or cognitive abilities can impact a child's behaviors. Children who are still developing certain skills or abilities may be more likely to engage in problematic behavior. 13 is culture and context. Cultural and contextual factors can impact a child's behavior. Children from different cultures or who are in different contexts may engage in different behaviors in response to similar triggers. So, by considering these additional factors, parents, caregivers, and professionals can develop a more comprehensive understanding of a child's behavior in relation to triggers. This understanding can help develop effective strategies to prevent or manage the behavior and promote positive behavior change. And that's all. And
good day everyone, my name is Rachel W. Ladera from BC 3B. My topic is all about consequences behavior. Consequences behavior are what happens after your child behaves in a certain way. Consequences can influence how your child behaves in the future. Some consequences can make behavior more likely in the future. These include positive attentions, praise, encouragement, and reward, and other things your child likes. Other consequences make behavior less likely in the future. These consequences are things your child doesn't like. They might include the consequences you give your child for the challenging behavior like time out, quiet time, or loss of privilege. There are natural consequences. Sometimes it's best to let children experience the natural consequences of their own behavior. This helps them learn that their actions have consequences. They might learn to take responsibility for what they do. So here are examples of natural consequences that encourage behavior. First is if your child keeps their room tidy, they can find their toys easily. Next is, if your child waits for their turn in a game, the game goes more smoothly. And next is, if your child puts on their shoes, their feet stay clean and dry. Here are examples of natural consequences that discourage behavior. If your child refuses to put on a coat, your child feels cold. If your child won't eat, your child feels hungry. And next, if your child doesn't complete their homework, your child fails the assignment. Next is, although natural consequences can be a useful way to guide your child's behavior, not all behavior has natural consequences. So, there are some common child needs. These initial needs include warm, caring, and responsive adults, a sense of importance and significance, a way to relate to the world around them, opportunities to move and play, and people to help in structure and support their learning. So, according to Jim Greenman, 1988, early childhood education's environment should be rich in experience. Children need to explore, experiment, and learn basic knowledge through direct experience. Indeed, childhood is a time when we learn firsthand about the physical world, that pail of water, the constant fall of gravity, the instinct of routine fruit, and the abrasive feel of concrete on a bare knee. Next is rich in play. Play provides a way for children to integrate all their new experiences into their rapidly developing minds, bodies, emotions, and social skills. Brain research supports this idea, stressing that children learn best through an integrated approach combining physical, emotional, cognitive, and social growth. And next is rich in teaching. The role of the teachers is critical in a child's life. Children depend on teachers to be their confident colleague, model, instructor, and nurture of educational experience. Next is rich with people. Clearly, children need lots of exposure to other people in their early childhood years. One of the greater weaknesses of Western society is that our children have less exposure to the diverse group of people living in the local village. Baker, farmer, gardener, carpenter, piano tuner, bricklayer, painter, and etc. And next is significant to children. Young children need to feel important. In past eras, children were responsible to water the garden, do farm chores, and care for younger children. Children need to feel that what they do is meaningful to someone besides themselves. And last is places children can call their own. A basic human needs is the need to belong. Children needs to feel they belong to. They need to be close to people they know, have familiar and comfortable object, and be in a setting that has a personal history. And also, natural consequences aren't always appropriate. For example, dangerous or antisocial behavior could lead to your child or someone else getting hurt. Likewise, regularly not doing schoolwork isn't good for your child's learning. In the situations you can just ignore your child's behavior. You need to step in to guide your child, which might involve using a different type of consequence. That's all. Thank you.
Good day, ma'am. So, I am Nina Jean Bungales from BC3P, and my topic is all about dealing with problem behavior. Then, as an early years educator, you likely feel that you have tried every trick in the book when it comes to dealing with challenging behavior in young children. Whether a child throws a fit, becomes aggressive, or is overly emotional. So, as an ECE teacher, kinahanglan jud nga kabalo ka kung unsay mga angay nimong buhaton para kung ang imong mga students or ang imong mga learners is masobran or magpakita og pagka-aggressive o then kanang emotional, so kailangan dapat kabulok ka kung unsay mga angay nimong buhaton. So there are ways to assess and manage this difficult behavior. So first, we have observe and identify the behavior. So if you notice difficult behavior coming from a child in your care, stop and record your observations. So ikaw teacher, kung maka-encounter kag mga ingani nga mga situation or mga scenario, kailangan lang jud nimo nga taas kag pasensya, dapat na kay patience. Then dapat mangita kag mga ways or mga pamaagi nga dapat kani nga problema is ma-resolve gyud nimo ni siya. Then make note of what time this behavior was displayed, which other children were around, what environment the child was in, and what happened before, during, and after the incidents. So, as a teacher, or as a ECE teacher, kailangan nimo nga mag-observe gid ka sa imong mga learners. O dapat, while go-observe ka, kailangan po nimo nga mag-take note pud ka sa imong nangakuha sa imong through sa imong observations. So, kay dito sa imong pag-observe, haya din mo din siya makita dito kung ma-identify nimo kung unsa nga mga behavior ang ginapakita sa imong mga learners o sa mga students nimo, o kung nganong kato nga mga sitwasyon or kato nga mga scenario is nahitabo. May bawaan nimo siya dito tungod sa imong kung mag-observe ka o para pud or i-take note nimo ang imong mga na-observe. So we have here, use behavior management and techniques. So once you understand the potential triggers of the challenging behavior, you can begin to try behavior management techniques to break the cycle. So here are some effective methods that other ECE educators use in dealing with difficult behavior. So first, we have praise good behavior while ignoring negative behavior. So kani siya makatabang pud ni siya para sa mga bata, para pud dili sila magpakita sa kung unsay mga lain nga mga behavior. So dapat ikaw teacher is dapat i-praise nimo sila ang ilang mga maayo nga nangabuhat or mga maayo nila nga batasan nga ginapakita or mga abilidad nga ilang gipakita. Dayon imo na lang siya i-ignore na lang to nimo mga negative kay kung imo man gud siya i-appeal ang negative is murag mas makuan si ang mga bata is dili tanan bata is kanang dawa-dawato na kung unsay mga kuan na uban mga bata is sensitive jud kaayo. So i-praise lang nimo kung unsay ilang mga maayo nga nabuhat kay para pud ganahan sila danainganan sila kanang i-praise kung unsay ilang mga maayo nga nabuhat nila or maayo nga mga abilidad nga ilang ginapakita. So second is try a classroom reward chart. So kani siya nga methods is makatabang gyud siya kay para pud ka sa imong classroom na kay ingani kay para pud sa mga bata makita nila kung unsa ang ilang mga nangabuhat nga mga maayo. Then ang outcomes ani pag mahibawaan sa mga bata or makita sa mga bata sa inyong room nga kana sila reward ana sa kuan kay maayo ilang gibuhat, pag makita man nila dito sa imong classroom is ang outcomes judan na dayon sa ilaha is permintiho na dayon nila og buhat. So mas maayo gyapon siya nga naani siya sa imong classroom kay para pud dili ingon nga kanang kuan kay bata para ganahan pud sila ba nga sa ilang sulod sa imong classroom makita nila ilang mga ngalan or ingana nga na sila rewards kay ganahan man sila sa mga ingana. So third is use positive language. So kini siya importante gyapon ni siya kay ang mga uban bata is sensitive na jud kaayo. So tungod aning nga mga method is makatabang gyud siya. Example, lugar mas maayo nga ingnon nimo ang mga bata nga hulat lang sa kung ikaw na ang mag-answer ha, naon nimo sila kaysa ingnon nimo nga dili pa imong turn, so ayo sa pagsawsaw ayo sa paguna-una yung naon, so dili gid mo sila yung naon pag istorya. Use positive language, kailangan lang nimo sila kanang istoryahon nga kanang with a positive way manggod para po dili sila malain lang buot. So we have last is create a visual schedule. So pinaka-importante jud ni siya kay kung ikaw maestra is kailangan jud nga nakay schedule para sa ilang mga buhaton or dapat nilang buhaton, kung unsay buhaton, mga ingana nga mga schedule dapat hatagan nimo sila una og istoryaw nimo sila nga ingana lugar next day ingana inyong buhaton o kani inyong buhaton ingana tagaan gid nimo sila schedule na gid dapat makita na nila dito nga ingana ilang buhaton imo sila tudluan ingana maghatag kag schedule nga okay, next day, tomorrow, ingana, muni atong buhaton, muni inyong ansiran, muna inyong buhaton, ha, inganaon ninyo pagbuhat, ingana, dapat imuha gid sila nga hatagan og mga schedule para mas ma-aware gid sila ba kung unsa ilang buhaton next day kaysa kay kung wa sila kabalo kung unsa ilang buhaton is magunahuna pa na sila kung magunsa ka mo sa nga day, unsa kay buhaton nila, ingana mangguna sila. So, we have here also communicate with parents. So, open and honest communication with parents is key when dealing with challenging behavior in young children. Ensure that parents are aware of the behaviors their child is displaying and inquire whether they are seeing the same types of patterns at home. So, pinaka-importante gini sa tanan as ECE teacher, kailangan gyud nga makig-communicate or makig-partnership gid ka sa mga parents kay kuan tanan nga if ikaw man good makig partnership sa parents para po kanang makabalo sila ma-aware sila kung unsa nga mga attitude or mga behavior or mga abilidad nga ginapakita sa ilang mga bata sa school. So para po makabalo ang mga parents nga ingana ang mga behavior or mga abilidad nga ginapakita sa ilang mga students or ilang mga children sa inside the classroom in the school. So kung ikaw pod usa ka maestra makig-communicate pod ka sa parents, so ikaw pod nga maestra makabalo pod ka kung unsa pod nga mga behavior or mga abilidad nga ginapakita pod sa mga bata didto sa ilang balay. So ingana na siya. So dapat parents and teachers should have communication and partnership together in order for the development of the children. So, kailangan naagi na sila makig-communicate gid ang teacher sa parents, din ang parents pod makig-communicate pod or makig-partnership pod sa teacher. Kay para isig ka iya na sila mga makuha nga mga information. So, ang parents makakuha information about silang students sa ilang teacher. So, ang teacher pod makakuha pod siya information about that students or about that children dito sa ilang balay. Para teacher aware pod siya kung unsay behavior sa children dito sa ilang balay, and then ang parents pod is aware kung unsa pod ang mga abilidad nga ginapakita sa iyang children sa school. Ingana gina siya. So dapat importante gid gyapon nga ang parents and teacher is nagid na sila communication duha. Then we have here the caring connection. Your relationship with the children is the most powerful tool you have. As you care for them, you come to learn all about them, their temperaments, developmental levels, play skills, families, cultures. You know what they enjoy, what frightens and frustrates them, what makes them sad or mad if you know them. If you have an opportunity, so kung kailangan ilahon gyud mo sila, dapat kabalo ka kung unsa ilang kahadlukan, unsay makapalagot sa ila, unsay makaguol sa ilaha, ingana ba. They flourish and their self-esteem soars because you know them well. Treat them with respect and honesty and make them feel special and important. So, as a teacher po, kailangan nga naaka-connection sa mga bata. Nga dapat may pakita po nimo nga nag-care ka or nagpangga ka sa ilahay. Nga na kay then kailangan po nga pag connection ka sa bata, kailangan honest po ka sa honest ka sa imong self or honest po ka sa ilaha nga kana imo tinud-anay gina or genuine gina imo makig-connection ka sa ilaha. Then dapat ginapakita gina nimo nga gina-respeto nimo sila, gina-respect nimo sila in kanang sa mga bisan sa mga gagmay lang nga mga butang. So kay tungod ana mas ma-enhance nila ang ilang mga self-esteem, so ilang mga confidence, mas mataas og level ang ilang mga self-confidence. Di na sila maulaw, di sila mahadlok, kay tungod kay ilang teacher nagpakita nga girespeto sila or honest ilang teacher sa ilahan, gipangga sila nga na kay para pud ingana manggod sa ingana nga pamaagi pag makita na sa bata or ma-feel sa mga bata, diyan na nila mabati nga sila day appreciated sa bata, ay appreciated sa ilang teacher, then ma-feel pud nila nga special sila o importante sila kay even their teacher kay ga-care pod sa ilaha og giila gid sila pag-ayo kay para pod ano pod ilang teacher is nagrespeto pod sa ilaha. So inga na ang mga bata. So dapat gyud nga ikaw teacher kailangan gini mo nga ilailahon ang mga bata gyud ipakita nimo kung unsa gid kung ipakita nimo nga gipangga nimo sila or na-appreciate nimo sila or even the smallest thing nga ilang nga buhat i-appreciate gina sila para pod ma-encourage sila o ma-motivate gina sila kay para dili pod ingon nga manggawas sila dili sila manggawas sila mga ngilad nga mga batasan or nga na kay even children na gina sila mga batasan nga dili kaaya-aya. So para pod malikayan ang pagka-aggressive sa bata or if ever ang bata is emotional, kailangan pod kabalo ka kung unsay buhaton ko. Ang bata emotional, imo siyang istoryahon, kanang masinsinan nga istorya nga na para pod makalma ang bata. So ang bata pod if ever ang bata pod magpakita og pagka-aggressive, dapat kabalo pod ka kung unsaon pag unsay mga buhaton nimo nga kana siya nga bata iyang pagkaisog, iyang pagkakuan is kanang ma-minimize ba ma-reduce bita magamay-gamayan or makuan dili na siya ingon kay nga aggressive na bito kay siya dapat kabalo ka unsay mga angan niyang buhaton. That's all. Thank you.